Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Radiant Sunday podcast. I'm your host, Celine, and over in this corner of the universe, we talk about spirituality science, quantum physics, business, crypto, and everything else in between. In today's episode, I want to talk about love. Love is not as easy as we thought it is, because love is this universal energy that I am still trying to figure out. And it has also taken many monks thousands of years to understand love. Because as we know of, love is this emotional connection, right? But it is so much more than that. To start, I want to take you back a little bit in the beginning of time. These are some of the astral journeys that I've learned from. When I had my spiritual awakening, it really opened my eyes to how vast this universe we live in. And I want to share with you some of my experiences, some glimpse of what my spirit guides has been sharing to me. Imagine an ocean. We are one body of water. We are all one. Then there is this pebble called the awareness. And this pebble caused a ripple of waves known as frequencies. These frequency waves began to move the ocean. It created ripples. It generated different levels of vibration. It created atoms, molecules, moving, generating energy. The energy from the ripple then creates patterns and shapes and geometric structures at different levels of this great ocean, creating for the very first time a collapse of energy that is so big that it created more atoms and molecules, from which this led to the appearance of matter in combination with light, sound, refraction, and many other chemistry included in it. It created matter. So, frequency waves, the vibration of the energy, and the structure of matter are the three key tools of this universe. That's why Tesla said 369. Energy, frequency, and vibration. For the spirit, the universal awareness, with these three tools, three concepts of the universe, the universal awareness or spirit was able to express itself. The Trinity, which includes frequency, energy, and matter. Frequency, energy, and matter, also known as the universal bases. These three universal bases have three attributes or characteristics, which is love, will, and wisdom. When you die, the question that the universe asks you is, what did you learn? In order to achieve our life lessons or objectives, to leave a legacy through our actions, we have to develop these attributes with the help of our resonance. How we feel, how we think, and how we act. Through that, we can manifest our life. The most difficult attribute to learn is love. It took thousands of years for the monks to study this, and I believe the Hindus as well. Love is a multifaceted concept that spans emotional, psychological, social, and spiritual dimensions. Understanding its various aspects, from romantic love to compassion and divine love, requires a deep contemplation and reflection over time. Love is neutral. It can neutralize frequencies. It can also destroy frequencies. Everything else in the cosmos is all quantum physics, quantum spirituality, algorithms, and the more that you study spiritual science, Buddhism, Hinduism, all the isms, even the Bible, it was oversimplifying how convoluted the universe really was. It's a lot of mathematical equations plus the spirituality part. It is a lifetime study. And so quantum physics, astrophysics, it is still very much in its infantry stages. One of my favorite physicists is Wheeler, and he was somewhat awake. He was open to the concept of spirit. Scientists forgot a very key component, which is spirituality. And science is always trying to prove it, right? It's always trying to make something linear. And the cosmos is not linear at all. It is very dynamic and unquantifiable. A huge chunk of it, actually, there is more psychology too. So NASA, CERN, all of these institutions are just the front face of what really goes on in the background. Many theories that has been proven were right. The universe is a lot of chemistry, again, physics, geometry, math, plus magic, angels, demons, aliens, and etc. You have to expand your consciousness to higher dimensions to understand it. Matter is only in 3D, and the rest is a projection or just an awareness. Everything is the mind, everything is you. Our feeble monkey brains cannot accommodate all those information. Your body and your DNA can, though. Your DNA holds all ancestral informations for eons since the beginning of time. Our DNA is like the hard drive. It has all the codes. So in the universe, again, this big quantum computer that's like the blockchain, we create the blockchain as a reflection of the universe. I mean, where did you think the blockchain came from? It came from the higher mind. Duh. Everything that we know comes from the higher mind. Everything was channeled down into this reality. The concept of good and bad is only in 3D. There is really just positive and negative. And so going back to love, love can be unconditional, which this transcends personal desires and attachments. This form of love is often seen as selfless, compassionate, inclusive, extending to all beings without discrimination. Divine love is seen as the ultimate source of life and the foundation of all existence, guiding individuals towards union with the divine enlightenment. And then there is compassion and empathy, being able to understand and resonate suffering and joys of others, selfless service, harmony and unity, transcendence of ego, sacred relationships, or what energetic synthesis is called, the Heros Gamas. There are so many layers to love, but it is a universal cosmic force. It is the greatest power there is. I think that Source is love. Source is the algorithm of love, both consciousness and emotions. The spirit is unquantifiable and infinite. It is unconditional and omnipotent. The attribute of love isn't emotional. Only humans have emotions, and morality is only in 3D. Our 12-strand DNA makes this unique. Other beings in the higher dimensions or lower dimensions, they have logic. The higher beings, they have compassion, but they don't feel like we do. They do what is positive or negative. This is what love means to me. Love is the point from which the frequency waves emanate and connect with everything else. In a way, love equals evolution. Love is constant transformation. Constant transformation leads us to action, transforming us, transforming different perspectives. Through our hearts resides divine love that encapsulates the whole cosmos. Our hearts are portals of creation. The energetic anatomy of the heart, in its way, a replica. Love is the point from which the frequency waves emanate and connects with everything else. In a way, love equals evolution. Love is constant transformation. Constant transformation leads us to action, transforming ourselves, transforming different perspectives. Through our heart resides divine love that encapsulates the whole cosmos. Our hearts are portals of creation. The energetic anatomy of the heart, in its way, is a replica of the reality from which you can go through levels of dimension of yourself and as a collective. Do not think of dimensions as a place that you go, because dimensions are expansion of consciousness. It is you being able to see a new side. So, for example, you have the pyramid, right? That is like a 3D construct. You have, how many phases is that? 3 phases of the pyramid. And the more that you change the geometric shape, so you add another dimension, which is another point. And for example, you can move to a tetrahedron. You can move to icosahedron. These faces, the areas, is another way of seeing things. It is like having another window. It is not a place. It is just another perspective. Imagine when you were little and your view of the world was very simple. When you were a 5th grader, your view of the world was very simple. It's a 5th grade level. And then as you grow up, you learn more and more. You learn how to do taxes. You learn how to drive. That is your mind expanding. That is your consciousness expanding, adding more information. So the same way, if you notice great thinkers such as Plato or Stephen Hawking or Elon Musk, their level of consciousness is beyond what a regular American would have. It is just a continuation of you expanding the different levels of your intelligence, of your consciousness understanding of the world. And there's this psychologist named Ken Wilber. He explains this very well. It is the 4 quadrants. It is the framework of understanding the reality from multiple perspectives, integrating both subjective and objective dimensions of individual and the collective experience. In a way, your heart, your 4 quadrants of your heart, is a symbolic representation of this. So the first quadrant, the interior individual upper left quadrant, this quadrant focuses on the subjective experiences of the individual. So this includes your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your values, emotions, your personal experiences. This first quadrant explores the inner world of consciousness and psychology, emphasizing the whole unique experience and inner life of each person. This is your self. The second quadrant is your exterior individual, or your upper right quadrant. In contrast to the interior individual quadrant, this quadrant focuses on the objective exterior aspects of the individual. So anything that is observable behaviors, biological processes, your physical characteristics, measurable data related to the individual. This quadrant explores the external manifestations of yourself, such as your biological systems, your brain functions, and your observable behaviors. Your interior collective, or your lower left quadrant, this quadrant focuses on the shared subjective experiences of groups, cultures, and societies. This includes the aspects of the shared values, cultural norms, collective beliefs, worldviews, social identities. It explores the collective consciousness, the cultural dynamics, and the shared meanings that shape the social and cultural fabric of human existence. Lastly, you have the exterior collective. These are the systems of society and the environment. It includes aspects such as social institutions, economic systems, technological infrastructure, environmental ecosystems, and physical environments. This quadrant explores the external manifestations of the collective existence and the organizational dynamics and environmental conditions that we all experience. The significance of Wilber's model is very contrasting voices such as Jordan Peterson, Michael Foucault, and situating diverse perspectives from Marx to Nietzsche on the map of human knowledge and human experience. I can expand more on this in another podcast, but I love reading philosophy and quantum physics and psychology, and it really picks my brain. But back to the cosmos of the heart. The heart is a representation of ourself and our collective experience, right? To look within all parts of us. So my guides would often take me to the hall of mirrors inside my heart, and your heart has many places that you can astral travel to. It's not just an organ, it is a whole vacuum of things that you can explore deeper. Like every part of you can explore deeper. And I would stand there in the hall of mirrors and I would see many versions of me. Everyone in my life there in 3D is an emanation of myself. It is a reflection of who I am, what is my current state. Everyone and everything is me. We each live in our own worlds, but we see other souls as a refraction, as a reflection or projection of their world. So it's kind of like you having a neighbor. I live in my house here and I have windows. Windows are like my consciousness. I can kind of see you, what you're doing in your house right there. I could see my other neighbors, what they're doing. I don't exactly know what they're feeling internally inside their house, but I can see them mowing their lawn. I can see them, doing whatever they're doing inside their home. And it's kind of like that. When you meet another person in 3D, you can touch them, but you don't know what goes on inside of them. But in reality, this is all a projection. And you're only seeing their version or a duplicate of them. I don't know if that makes sense. You kind of have to experience it. A friend told me before, awakening is like asking a blind person what color is. A blind person has never seen color, so it can't understand what color is. But if you have eyes and you have seen it, you understand what color is because you've experienced it. And so, your heart is like this infinite realm where you can explore, where you can learn more about yourself. Our willingness to act to transform matter in different realities, each one of these experiences lead us to integration. The integration is reflected in our minds, our wisdom. It is what we learn from ourselves. That is where meditation comes from. We internalize everything that we've learned around our surroundings. And this is equivalent to the energy of the outside of the triangle of the Trinity. 3 plays a very important role in the universe because it always has to be balanced. You have your masculine, your feminine, and there is neutrality or 0 point. It all meets into the 0 point, which is the monad. Self, or I am. In this way, frequency changes can transform both energy and matter. We transform the things and the way things are by changing their frequency. If we tune into a new frequency, the energy changes and therefore the matter changes. It's kind of like that old school radio, right? You are trying to tune the dial, trying to find the station when all that you're hearing is the static. But when you're able to tune into that resonance, tune into that frequency, you hit the right vibration, then you can start aligning yourself. It is the same way with will and wisdom. We can only change our perspective of reality through our actions, our thoughts. How we feel equals resonance. Some people call this quantum jumping, quantum shifting. When you get to experience different versions of yourself, this is reflected by different versions of people and things around you. Maybe they're nicer. Maybe you suddenly have better opportunities because you are now conscious of the game. You are no longer asleep. If we express ourselves through what makes us love and what makes us excited, the things that we enjoy, what excites us, what we do, we ignite that fire. Our fire is our potential. It is the eternal fire that keeps us going. You start to move with momentum. And this is how the bases and the attributes move this eternal cycle of transformation. An object that is in motion will always stay in motion, and an object at rest will always stay at rest. We experience from different perspectives within infinite expressions of the Trinity: the present, the past, and the future. 40 is time. 40 is that gap between your landing, which is, let's say, higher consciousness, 5D, unconditional love. You understand everything. Sometimes we get lost and we're like, I don't know where my life is heading. I don't understand what is happening. What am I going to do? You are in the middle of quantum leaps. You're continuously expanding your consciousness and you are aware of how massive and how vast your potential is. That's why you get anxiety. And so, overcoming the embedded fears and definitions that society has boxed us, we fully embrace our authentic selves. The life that we are meant to live boldly is how authentic your energetic signature is. All of the experiences, emotions, memories is what shapes your energetic signature. The key to living an extraordinary life is to live in harmony with your higher mind. Having balance and gratitude for what life has to bring, because you are the first spark. You embody this authenticity shining through everyone that is trying to conform. I once read this thing where the people who are thought that are crazy, the delusional, are actually the non-delusional. And the people who think are non-delusional are actually the ones deluding themselves. Because then they conform what is society trying to tell them instead of living life in their own rhythm. Society has told them to be a certain way so that you will be accepted. You have to dress this way. You have to go to this school or do this certain thing instead of really following what your heart wants. In a way, they are the ones deluding themselves because they are now in this box that society has told them to be in instead of embracing their own uniqueness. Your heart is dying sitting in your 9-to-5 because it wants to express itself. It wants to liberate itself to find what it truly loves, to live life. Your uniqueness lights up the candle in several people, igniting others to do the same and seek their own extraordinary paths. So don't hold back on your gifts. Don't hold back on your uniqueness, your authenticity, yourself is the byproduct of love, the byproduct of you loving yourself relentlessly. Others are seeking for what you give, for what you are going to create. The more that you show your authenticity, the more we can manifest the life that you truly desire. That is your unique, energetic signature. We often say, oh, I don't think I'm good. I don't think I can do that. Your brain is a supercomputer and you can delete programs. You can delete negative thoughts. You can delete imposter syndrome. You just have to learn to recognize what those patterns are. Think of it as like a bug, There's a bug in your code. So remove the bug, quarantine that bug, and exterminate it. Delete it. Change the code. It is your purpose. It is okay to express yourself. The right people will find you. Be prepared. Can't talk. Be prepared to turn left or to turn right in the most expected way. Sometimes your higher self will tell you things that does not make any sense at all. But because it knows where you're heading, just follow it. Follow your gut. This is how you discover yourself. They are there to authenticate yourself. You will get the support of creation. It is designed to support you. So build a relationship with your higher self. You gave your higher self the map. It's not going to fix your problems, but it will tell you where to go. Your higher self can see further than you. You are in the bottom of the valley, and your higher self is up in the mountaintops. It can see the past, the present, the future. It can see all lifetimes, all timelines, the whole cosmos. If you are functioning as a whole being, this is your authentic self. However, if you're only letting your physical mind lead your life, you're only a half person and you're not really a whole person. You're what we call a half-wit. And dropping into your heart, you access your authentic self, the place where whenever you get scared, put your hand in your heart. If you get confused, not sure what to do, put your hand in your heart and breathe. When you're feeling uneasy, visualize a white wall, this blank wall where you can put all of your problems, all of your worries, doubts, pain, fear, any emotions or a negative ego that you don't want. Just splatter on that white wall, and then you can breathe better again because you know you've taken that out somewhere else. Then you can ask your higher self, I want you to say it out loud. Higher self, what do I need to know right now? It will most likely come as a thought, and don't doubt yourself. Your thoughts are an emanation of your higher self. Create a grand vision of what your dream life looks like, as wild and as grandiose as you can think of. The bigger, the better. The universe can start formulating it. It starts shaping it like Legos, matrices, constructing the algorithms necessary for this world to materialize. Act on what excites you daily and move to that life closer every day. What does an abundant person look like? How do they act? How do they talk? What things are they learning? What kind of habits do they have? Are you willing to take your life on your own hands, to risk everything, to live life fully, to experience the full fuck of life? You know, you are the creator. You are the co-creator. In fact, you are God, so you are the creator. So what gives meaning to your life? What is something that you get excited to do every single day? Your authenticity is your unique perspective. No matter how many people there are, there will always be one you. Only you have lived your life. Get excited by this vision. It will mirror and morph it. It will start to behave to move you towards closer to that creation. And as soon as you radiate that frequency, go into the void, meditate on it, put your energy and connect with your higher mind and let it show you what needs to come to you. By being an example, others will see and come to you. That curious, imaginative, ecstatic, adventurous, loving life, people will start asking you, like, how are you doing this? How is this working for you? You inspire to let them live their extraordinary life too. You have lit your flame and sparking those little embers surrounded by others who don't have the flame within them, who just feel empty, void. They're just going about their lives, boring lives, but you have that spark and you're gonna light them up too. My flame never diminishes and it lights up everyone else. And I am giving you this opportunity to light it, your own flame, into a billion other flames around you. It creates a ripple effect. If others around you are still having negative behaviors, have compassion and wish them well. Give them love. They have the choice to figure it out themselves. If they can't see your perspective, maybe you are in a higher octave, you are living in a higher harmonic universe, or your consciousness is far more advanced than them that they're not able to see this. But let them, they will find their way, somehow. Cut out those that don't nourish you, that drain you. You don't owe anyone an apology. Cut them out. You are created as a reflection of all that is. It is everywhere and it is everything. Without you, all that is will be nothing at all. You will keep shifting to parallel realities that is representative of who you are every second. There is the path we are taking. You have to be that state of being, allowed to experience that creation. It is a lot faster and easier that way. That is what it's supposed to be. We are connecting the planetary network, connecting the consciousness of the planet through our hearts. It is a lifelong quest. It's fun expanding and getting better at unlocking more gifts. I hope that you found some value in this. You can leave a comment or message me on my socials. You know where to find me. But I just love talking about the cosmos and the universe and spirituality. Just having healthy cosmic discourse. I wish there was like a place where I could go and just talk about these things, but most of my friends are in other places. But having a podcast, sharing this online is one way to reach everybody. It's been fun, and I hope I could hear about what your thoughts are and how you have hacked this matrix, right? Anyway, I love you. Stay radiant. Much love, Celine.